Hey Scorpio, and welcome to your monthly tarot reading. So this is for the month of June 2023 for Scorpio sun or rising signs. It's a collective reading, so if you want something super specific, I recommend getting a one-to-one reading, which you are able to do with me. In the description box down below has that information. So I know that I have been incorporating some astrology more recently, and thank you guys for the comments privately and support. That's been really lovely. So although I was on a trip for the last part of the month, I should say, and yeah, I just haven't had time to settle back in and actually really look at the astrology to the degree that I would want. So I will be putting out a short video just on the first half of the month astrology or I'm hoping to have that out June 1st. So this video, we're going to be taking a look at the progression of the month for you. So we're going to look at I'm feeling that and that. So the beginning, middle, and end of the month. All right. You are not the first sign to get an Ace of Swords towards the end of the month. I really like that. We're going to take a look at also what might be coming up as a challenge that's more prominent this particular month. Obviously, we go through many challenges in one month. And then we're also taking a look at spiritual advice. I was feeling that card. Okay. I like it. All right. An interesting reading, Scorpio. Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. So in order to focus these readings a little bit more, we have been looking at from my astrological deck. We've been pulling a card to kind of help focus like what theme this is around, right? Like what theme or what area of life this is coming up in this particular month in June, right? So we have Uranus, right? And anyone who knows Uranus is gonna maybe just be like, oh, great. But this can be an oh, yay. So Uranus is Uranus is typically a planet that is about liberation, right? It's about our liberation, our freedom, our breaking free from things. And in order for that to happen, change must occur. Things sometimes need to be shook up. And, like earthquake style, literally, actually. So I'm not saying that you're in somewhere that's going to be an earthquake. I'm just saying more like it can feel that way, where it can feel disruptive. Sometimes disruptions are for our ultimate benefit. And sometimes, that disruptive quality can feel earth shattering and life shaking, right? So there's just change on the horizon that's there and that's present. And we could talk about how this has to do with innovation. I don't know what field any of you might be in that are watching this. So if you feel like that has to do with your particular line of work, maybe you're involved in tech and maybe more futuristic tech, maybe things like AI, maybe you work with AI, and like also maybe you're more on like the cutting edge of some of these things, like Uranus would be like the cutting edge of these types of things. So just something to keep in mind also. I just like to mention that in case that feels resonant. I feel like it would for a couple of you out there. So the beginning, middle, and end of the month, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. I really like that it ends up with the Ace of Swords. And we have also the Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups showing up in the bottom two positions. So right off, I'm just going to say, this just based on what I'm seeing here, yes, I think maybe for a few of you, this could be about your relationship. But I think this for others of you could have to do with maybe a working business relationship or a really close friendship because of the Two of Cups. So there's like some point of tension that I feel is related to the Five of Swords here in the middle of the month. So the first third of the month, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And again, we're dealing with change. Like it's just echoing the overall theme. Not necessarily, I like that they both have wheels, not necessarily because of the wheels, but because the Wheel of Fortune is like the wheel spins. It's kind of like roulette, it's like you just don't know where it's going to land. It's going to land on black or red, right? You don't know if the fortune that it falls on is going to be something that subjectively feels good to you and feels like good fortune, or something that feels like not what you want and feels like the opposite of that and feels uncomfortable and feels like bad luck, right? So, or like a difficult situation or a challenge. I think maybe I want to steer clear of like the bad luck, good luck thing. But more so just like subjectively feels like it's more challenging versus something that feels more like optimistic and beneficial, right? And so the Wheel of Fortune is like there's change on the horizon at the beginning of this month of June for you. Definitely changes up for the month. So I'm not surprised that this is showing up, but I feel like because it's like highlighting that. I definitely see that as highlighting it. In the middle of the month, we have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is usually a point of like contention or like opposition, conflict with another person or with others, right? And so, and definitely as it plays into change, like obviously that's going to change the nature of like how you're relating to certain people or situations. Here are a couple things that I want to say about the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is like the winning at all costs, like to the detriment of others, like to the point where it's just kind of like there's no win-win that's happening in this scenario. And you want to be careful of like which side of that you're on, either side actually of that you're on. Because in that scenario, it's like nobody really wins, right? So you could be on the side of it where you're feeling like whoever is involved in, whatever this point of tension or friction or conflict or opposition that you're experiencing is that you feel like they're not playing fair, like they are using sharp words or they're being like really unfair about their tactics and the way that they go about getting what it is that they want. And you might feel on the like kind of losing side of that and feeling like you're being taken from or like things are just being like stripped away or like that type of feeling, right? And you could also be on the other side of this where you are the person who is like you're playing the game like I'm going to win at any cost and I don't care how I go about winning. As long as I win, I will bulldoze whoever I have to. I will do whatever needs to be done. I will use any tactic that has to be so that I get what I want in this situation, right? And that's just never great for anyone. If you come out on the other side, the person who won this, it's like the thing is like, okay, you won, but at what cost? Right? At like what, burning bridges, at like losing maybe a friendship or a connection with someone, at damaging your connection with other people or your reputation or like whatever it is. And, that could result in like people not wanting to work with you as an example, right? Like things like that. And if you're on the other side, you want to just be careful to still like be someone who is of integrity and diplomatic in the way that you use your words. And, just like use everything that you have at your disposal to turn the situation around. Maybe try to be the person who is a mediator in the situation and tries to like bring sense to the situation. Like, hey, let's be adults and let's communicate like adults and have conscious communication. And, let's like find the win-win for everybody here, even if it means that we both don't get exactly what we want, right? So just like something that's coming up in the middle of the month that feels like that kind of point of contention there that I would say is not necessarily the best feeling. However, I really like that you're rounding out the end of the month with the Ace of Swords. Like, I love this. I love that you're rounding out the Ace of Swords because it's like you're getting that kind of clarity. And I love that it's in the same suit because I feel like it's related, right? So you're coming into the end third of the month and it's like, la, right? Like, I'm such a dork. But you're just getting this clearing, right? And I feel like with the ace of any of the aces, actually, like it feels like there's this assist that's coming through to help you with getting this clarity. And so sometimes this can be about receiving messages or like the clarity comes through in some like way, or that you have this epiphany in some way. But I do feel like there is this assist with getting that clarity, and you see like not only is this hand, the assistance coming out from the ether to help, but also the sword in an upright position like this indicates like truth and clarity and being true to yourself and piercing through the crown, like the crown chakra is what this is kind of related to, right? But piercing through that to the, whatever you want to call it, the cosmic consciousness, spirit, universe, deities, whatever, right? But there is this coming out of the the clouds, usually you see more clouds down here, like coming out of the clouds into this point of clarity and being aligned in like what you think is what you say is what you're aligned with your higher self, with your cosmic beliefs, whatever they are, but it feels aligned and you get some kind of message or epiphany or clarity that helps you with moving forward, right? Now, the reason I was kind of pointing to this particular card when it comes to the challenge is because you have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups usually indicates someone who's like, the people call it the soulmates card, but it's not just about lovers. It's also about like the people that we typically feel like, I don't have to explain myself around you. You just get it. Like, you just understand me. You just know who I am. Like, we don't have to have those extra conversations. It's just, this is the way it is, right? Which is really lovely. So someone that you maybe felt like you had that with feels like there is like maybe some kind of discord that is occurring inside of that connection, perhaps, and which is why, again, I encourage you to find like, what is the win-win in this scenario? Like, let me try to help find the win-win in this particular scenario. You know, or maybe it's someone that you just like feel like they've never gotten you. Like, this is the person who's you're just like, we just never have seen eye to eye. And so when you guys are clashing, it just feels like this, right? So this being a point of change and feeling maybe a bit challenging to deal with. But I love what I'm seeing here towards the end of the month. Like I said, you've got the Ace of Swords and you have the Queen of Cups as your advice that's coming through. So I'm really seeing this as, you know what, Scorpio, this is like, if I were going to put self-care at the top of the list, self-care, top of the list. This is not like, people roll their eyes at putting self-care at the top of the list. And I'm like, it's important, man. When you make sure that you're getting enough sleep, enough water, and eating nourishing food, taking care of your emotional and mental space, you're a whole different human, right? Like, things seem more possible. You see more possibilities. You get solutions and insights to the things that you're trying to problem solve. The advice that you're getting here is like, hey, you know, take care of your emotional world. Feel the feelings that need to be felt. Don't project them onto other people. Process that along with your thoughts with other people that are trusted part of your counsel. Maybe you have a coach or a therapist, or you have a really trusted friend who's really sagacious, right? Like, wise friends are amazing. Like, you know, people whose counsel, you know, is like clear and grounded and not reactionary. So, you know, you can trust that they're going to like, you feel heard, and like you get to talk about something and like really process things and take the charge out of it, but you come away feeling more clear, right? So in whatever way you can do that, do that. Take care of your internal emotional space. Take care of your thought space. Take care of your body. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're getting more sleep, even if you're not getting quite enough sleep. You know, if you're getting like 5 hours a night, try to see if you can get up to like 7, right? So just taking care of yourself on all levels, because when you're functioning at that higher level, like I said, think about the last time where you were like sleep deprived for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks straight. And you weren't really getting enough sleep, but you're pushing really hard and you're working a lot and you're just busy nonstop. And then you finally get a couple or even just one night of like 9 hours of sleep straight, as an example. And you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh my God, I feel like a different person. You know, even my thoughts, the quality of my thoughts are different. I feel different. I feel more resilient. I feel more able to handle the challenges ahead, to deal with change, to deal with any kind of points of contention, to get the clarity that you want. This is such a clear reading. Like, this is such an important thing to take in. So I really hope that that's helpful, Scorpio. So, and if it was, please consider giving the video a like. It does help me as I'm building this channel. And if you want to see more videos, I have like literally so many videos that are coming out at the beginning of this month. So I have the astrology video for the first half of June that's coming out, hopefully by June 1st, but then also June 3rd, I'll have those videos out for the full moon to the new moon. So I do these kind of like bi-weekly-ish readings, because it's like, it's not an exact, you know, 2 weeks exact all of the time when it's between moon signs or between moon phases. So, yeah, so like I do those kind of like bi-weekly-ish ones. So those will all be out in the first like week of June. So if you want to stay up on that, please consider also giving the hitting the notification bell and subscribing. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your time as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.